All right, guys. So it's gonna be a little different. I tried to pre-record this, and apparently it didn't work last time. So I'm gonna do this. Just going over the notes. So our next section is, leading coefficient and degree. When I have this in this form right here, the easiest thing to do is just to rewrite it, so then I know what is my leading coefficient, what is my degree. You could also just understand that my highest power also is my leading coefficient. So leading coefficient is -2 and my degree is 2. With my next problem, what I would do is I would multiply all of my powers, so it's my highest power, in each of my parentheses. So it's x negative x squared times 2x would give me negative 2x to the fourth, which would allow me to have a leading coefficient of -2 and a degree of 4. And what I meant by the highest power is if we had something like, if this was 4x minus x squared, I would do the x squared, not the x. This does not help me with my leading coefficient. Then my next step is in behavior. Well, x to the fourth is an even power, so we know it's a parabola, and my leading coefficient is positive, so that tells me that as x goes to negative infinity, which is left. Okay, so as this is a even polynomial, and then we're also going to have as negative infinity as x goes to the left, y goes up, and as x goes to positive infinity, y goes up. This is an even polynomial, but it's a negative leading coefficient, so it flips, and as x goes to negative infinity, y goes to negative infinity, and vice versa. Our next one is -2x to the fourth minus 3x squared plus x minus 1. Again, we're just looking at this one in here in front. So it's a negative leading coefficient with an even power, so it's the same thing as above. Just want to make sure that y'all understand that x cubed, as it looks like this, and so as x goes to the left, y goes down, and as x goes to the right, y goes up. Now we're doing the y-intercept and the x-intercept. So we look at all these, and we put 0 in each one of these. It's going to give us 2, -1, 2, and -3. And I multiply them together, and that gives me my y-intercept. Next, I'm going to state what makes these 0. So 1, -2, and 3, and I put them in coordinate points. Please make sure that we're putting them in coordinate points. Since what we are doing, when we say x equals something, that means that it is a vertical asymptote. It's just by default of the nature of our chapter. This next one, we have x to the fourth minus 16, and we have to factor it. And when we factor it, clean this up. When we factor it, it's x squared minus 4 and x squared plus 4. This does not have a factor. Also, if you were to set this equal to 0, it would be imaginary numbers, so that actually doesn't have an x-intercept. But we do have x squared minus 4, and this is a difference of squares, just like the original problem, making it x minus 2 and x plus 2. So those x-intercepts would be 2 and -2. If we put 0 in for x, 0 to the fourth power minus 16, our y-intercept is 0, -16. Our next problem we'd have to factor, and we would say, what are my factors of -8 that when I add together give me -2, and in this case it's -4 and a +2. What makes these zeros? 0, 4, and -2, and any time we have x-intercept as 0, 0, I know that my y-intercept is just the same, 0, 0. And we know that there's going to be one because we have this number this variable right out here in front. Unlike this up here where it's just a 2, this 2 does not have a factor, but this x does.